When I think about it, I've been laid off 5 times in my working life. Yeah, I've been working since I was 15. And each of those layoffs, they hit differently depending on the stage I was in life. See, two layoffs occurred in my younger years when I was in college or at home, working, living with my mother. But I wasn't the sole breadwinner of the household. And having the sole responsibility to be the breadwinner didn't fall on me, you see. So I didn't have that weight on my mind during those times of layoffs. Because money that I brought in was, kind of like my pocket money or help my mother with the bills kind of money. But the three layoffs that came after that, they hit way different and they were way harder because now I had left the nest. I was the head of the household and someone was calling me mom. In the aftermath, the negative effects of these layoffs, well, they smacked me in the face hard, so hard that I saw stars. See, nobody really talks about the aftermath, the part after the Zoom call, the part after the fake sympathy emails, the part after the severance paperwork is signed. See, the part where your real life, I should say, starts crashing into you. See, because getting laid off, it doesn't just affect your paycheck. It affects your confidence, your routine, sleep, trust, body, and your spirit. It just affects your whole being, mentally, physically, spiritually. It just affects everything. Today's episode is dedicated to quite a few people who fit into this laid off category. The people who got laid off quietly and you disappear without even a goodbye. For those of you who train people only to realize later you were actually training your replacement. To the folks who've heard you're valued right before your security badge stopped working. And for those of you who sat in your car afterwards staring into space wondering, what just happened to my life? Huh. What is going to happen to my life? This episode is to all of y'all and me because this is this is the laid off aftermath, the reset that nobody asked for. See, nobody prepares you for the next morning after the layoff, right? You may wake up out of habit. Your body still thinks you have somewhere to be. And then after a few seconds, you think, wait. Then reality hits you. You remember, I ain't got nowhere to be. I don't work there anymore. I don't have a job. And suddenly your entire schedule just like disappears. There's no more emails, no team messages, no calendar invites, no annoying coworkers or annoying supervisors, no routine. You're just sitting there in silence. And at first that silence feels almost peaceful, right? It's peaceful, it's nice. Right? Until the bills start staring back at you from your dining room table. See, a layoff can put you in a strange, very strange emotional space because you feel that relief from the workload, the relief from not having to do that commute anymore, the relief from the annoying coworkers or supervisors, the relief from the stress of it all. But then your body starts to panic. You go into immediate panic mode because then you start thinking, what do I do now? How am I going to support myself, my child, my fur baby, my real baby? Like, what do I do now? How do I survive? How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to keep a roof over my head, food in my stomach? Let me give you a play-by-play of what happened with me with my layoff. See, in that moment, when they say you laid off, the health insurance is gone, right? That weekly, bi-weekly paycheck is gone too. See, I had a doctor's appointment set up 3 weeks after my layoff, which was a follow-up appointment and no more health insurance. So you know what happened? That root canal is on pause. And then I started looking for free services, a free clinic, something. I mean, I can't get free dental work, but I was able to, find a doctor for my yearly, women visit. And if you think that you're going to go and now apply for state insurance, medical insurance, well, yeah, sometimes it's not going to happen because even when you're on unemployment, you still make too much to receive state medical insurance. Sometimes you're on unemployment, you still make too much to get food assistance. Believe me when I tell you it's true and it does happen because it happened to me. Depending on how many people are in your household, how much you're collecting unemployment benefits, you are disqualified sometimes. You are disqualified from receiving state aid because you make too much on unemployment. How can I make too much on unemployment when I couldn't even pay my rent? One morning, I'm sitting here and someone came and taped an eviction notice on my door. Right. Because I owed rent money because I could not pay my rent on my unemployment check. So then you're trying to decide, oh my God, well, you're trying to figure out, oh my God, I'm about to be evicted. I cannot pay my rent. These unemployment checks definitely don't cover it. Meanwhile, there's certain bills I can't pay. I don't have medical insurance. I'm trying to keep the lights on. I'm calling this company and that company, trying to make payment arrangements. My health now is not being maintained. I can't go for visits for preventive care or treat certain ailments that I have now. And I'm honestly looking for a free food pantry so I can supplement the food supply in my household. I found myself humbling myself and I went to my local social services office and I applied for rental assistance. Like, hey, please pay my rent for me so I don't end up on the street with my family. And I had to humble myself to go into these offices and ask for help. Now, you want to see some angry people? Besides the people sitting in the Department of Labor office, go to your local social services office. Staff is angry, they're overwhelmed, they're greatly underpaid, and you just have a room full of people saying, hey, I need social services help. I need my food stamps, I need my medical care, I need some cash assistance in my pocket every 2 weeks. I need my rent paid. I have never seen such a scene in my life. And I felt so embarrassed going there because I've never been in this position where I could not maintain a roof over my head. And I was in fear of really seriously being evicted. And here's the thing. People were like, Miss Fireball, why are you being so embarrassed and humbled to go? You pay taxes. You've been working since you were 15. This is what the services are for, to help the citizens of our state when they need help. The resources are there. So, yes, I went in, I filled out all the paperwork, I went through the long, complicated process, aggravating, frustrating, losing my paperwork, reapplying, and I got my rent paid. All the back rent, every single penny of it. But however, but since because I've been a productive member of society since I was 15 and always had a working history, my state was like, no, we're not going to give it to you as a grant, Miss Fireball. It's a loan. You have to pay us back. Okay. But it's okay for y'all to just hand money to people left and right and pay for their rent and their food and their health care when they do nothing productive in society. But okay, set me up on a payment plan. I'll start paying you back when I have a job again. Now, what happen if you were on your job's medical plan? Your whole family was in your job's medical plan. Now, if you're on your company's health insurance, your whole family has lost their medical coverage. What do you do now? What if you have some serious medical condition that the company, insurance was helping you to maintain or get care for? See, jobs don't care. They don't think about anything about that. Like, you're gone. Sorry. Good luck to you. We wish you best, good luck in your endeavors. Okay, but what if somebody in my household was just diagnosed with cancer and they need this medical insurance coverage to get treatment? What do you do now? See, when I got laid off at Christmas, recent layoff, I was mad as hell, resentful, angry. How dare you? How dare you? In the layoff that took place in 2023, I blamed myself for a long time. Mind you, though, they laid off the entire 9 members of my department to outsource our jobs. But I was mad. I was like, was this my fault? I did everything right. How could this happen to me? And I was so in the funk, I went into a depression. I was doing everything right at my job. I was going from site office to site office 3 times a week with a laptop on my side. Company wasn't giving me anything towards my transportation to all these multiple sites. And you want to lay me off? And to be frank, you were underpaying me to begin with. Like, day 2 of that layoff, I just did not want to get out of bed. And I just needed something to look at to motivate myself to say, this is not you. This was not your fault. You're going to be okay. So I created this motivational wall, which I still have to this day on my wall. I went to every website that I could find and I printed out all types of motivational sayings and memes and I taped them to my wall. Those things that, like, one door closes, another one opens. Sayings like, positive mindset, bring positive things, just breathe. Everything is going to be okay. Like, I plastered my wall in my living room with all these things because in that moment, I needed it. Because for a long time, I thought that layoff was my fault. Even though, even though the company insured us, it was nothing personal. It was just a business decision. And our department was struggling to get out of the mess that we all walked into when we took our jobs. We just could not clean up this mess. And the company just had enough and said, hey, we're going to outsource it. Let somebody else deal with it. And during the layoff of 2023, I realized I needed something to look at besides fear. So that's why I created this wall, this motivational wall. I needed something visually to look at, to say to myself over and over again, to read it, to believe it, to inspire me to, like, well, Miss Fireball, it happened. This too shall pass. But while I was waiting for this to pass, my credit score tanked. I couldn't go to the doctor. I had no health insurance. I was calling everybody asking for a payment arrangement. I was applying for jobs constantly, refreshing my email to see if a recruiter or anybody, a company had replied to my resume. I made sure the volume was turned up high so I didn't miss a phone call for a potential interview. I was stressing out. I was stress eating. Now, fast forward to the recent layoff, the layoff I'm in the middle of right now. Yeah, some of the same things still do exist. I'm checking my emails. I'm waking up anxious. I'm recalculating my groceries, where I shop at, supermarkets. Do I get my groceries from the local dollar store or do I go to the big chain supermarket to save money? Yes, I'm looking for pantries as well. And I'm pretending I'm okay if anybody asks, even though sometimes I'm not. Some days I don't want to get out of bed. Hell, some days I don't even want to shower. I'm mentally carrying fear about what's going to happen tomorrow. Hell, what's happening today? But I'm getting through it. See, you don't really survive a layoff in real time. You just keep moving through it until life starts moving again. These companies, they want to use your soft language. Oh, we're just restructuring. We're so sorry. Oh, it's just a business need. It's nothing personal. But a layoff ripples through your entire life and the lives of people that you cohabit with who depend on you financially. Yeah, a layoff can definitely create some relief that you're no longer at that job, especially if it was toxic, it was stressful. A layoff can cause you fear, exhaustion, numbness, uncertainty. I'm living through all of those. I have before, again now. There are days I look up at my motivational wall, and I do say things like, just breathe. Everything's going to be okay. And I believe it because it will be. So here I sit in the middle of another layoff, the fifth edition. This too shall pass. This layoff will not break me. I will not allow it because I'm Miss Fireball. And I just want to say to everyone who's turned into for another episode here of the podcast, I just want to say thank you for anyone who showed up again to listen to another episode. I really do appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate you stopping by and spending some time with me. See, I'm really trying to build a community here, a community for working folks, retirees, people in transition like us, like me, or anybody who just wants to just sit back, laugh a little, then a little, and remember that you're not the only one dealing with this foolishness that comes with jobs and life. So until we meet again, stay fired up. And if you want to support the channel, visit the link below where you can buy me a cup of hot tea. Until next time, I'm Miss Fireball. Stay fired up.